insane, ridiculous amount of concentration that I've never had before. Boom! Swordfish through space. FreddyFairhair presents another My Experience is So Important video.
Hello, it's Freddy. In this video I will talk about my experience at a Vipassana silent meditation retreat which lasted for 2 weeks, and it happened about 6 months ago in Italy. It's called, the center is called Pian dei Ciliegi. It's in Piacenza, about 1 hour from Milan. During that silence retreat, it was obviously silent. We couldn't talk to each other, except for 10 minutes with a teacher per day in an interview to check in on how you're doing. And you can't really be on your phone, at least not visibly. Then you have to go away from the building, totally silent and disciplined on noticing my experience. That's what Vipassana is about. So this is an ancient type of meditation that was taught in the early Buddhist texts, for the purpose of waking up, reach enlightenment, liberation from suffering. And when I say suffering, I don't mean necessarily suicidal thoughts. There could be just a subtle, just some form of discontentment with the way things are. You can be sort of happy, you can smile and party and have a great time, but in the background there might be some, when things calm down, when you get to yourself again, when you stay with yourself in silence, for instance, maybe the mind is gonna start resisting the moment. And that's the type of suffering that pretty much everyone has. This type of practice is a hardcore process for how to, really beat it down. But you don't really beat it down. You just see it as it is. You understand how it works. When you see things the way they are, you're not going to be in so much conflict with it. If you don't understand your reality, you're going to be in conflict with it and frustrated over it. So in Vipassana type of meditation, and lots of actual basic meditation, is just to watch the sensations in the body come and go. Watch the thoughts, touch, hearing, vision, smell, taste, all the senses, everything that is going on. And you will see that everything does come and go. Nothing lasts, nothing is permanent. And the more you see that, the more this knowledge or this wisdom will kind of show itself that, wow, everything is really happening inside this type of freeing space.
Post-retreat live stream in Milano. It was intense and it was painful for my hips, especially because I'm a stiff old soccer player. Daily routine starts 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. walking meditation, and then 6 a.m. it's sitting meditation, then it's breakfast, and then every other hour that's sitting and walking. The sitting meditations were the most effective. That's when I was most focused. On the walking meditations, you don't have everyone looking at you necessarily, and you can kind of walk in your own tempo, and it's a little bit easier, in my opinion, my experience, to let the mind fly. On the first day, little confused. Oh no, what have I done? Is it my style? I have mixed feelings about that. And it's not the meditation itself. The meditation is wonderful. It's just that I don't like rules. On day 2nd and 3rd, my mind was flying a bit, and it took a little while to get really concentrated. It took about 3 days to get really into it. These painful sensations in my hips popping up, bubbling up. And I'm just going to listen to this symphony and watch this play. I was like, oh yes, I think I get it now. Just perceive with the body. That became my mantra. And I felt better and better, felt more and more close and present. I felt just spread all over the floor. Because the more you really perceive, the less I there suddenly is, and the less difference there is between you and the things you see around. So you sort of see your own self around everything. The 4th day, this interesting thing happened. I was getting really concentrated. This insane, ridiculous amount of concentration that I've never had before. Swordfish. Boom. through space, machine gun concentration that could just boom, penetrate everything that I was concentrating on. So I was like, okay, what the hell am I gonna use this amazing concentration on? I better use it really wisely. So let's go for it. Let's go for the ego. What if I can actually penetrate through the ego and blast into nirvana right now? So I was like, okay, what's the thing that is concentrating here? Go straight into that. I was asking questions like, who am I? Okay, what's the ego? Who's this self? Who wants to be famous? Who wants to be enlightened? Who wants to be rich? Who wants to seek approval? Who's doubting this process? All these ego source questions to use this concentration on. And I was getting close. And then it faded out. Unfortunately. I was getting too excited. I was thinking, whoa, what if I actually blast into nirvana right now and stay there? Because it felt like a cessation like a big cessation was gonna happen. I've had many cessations before where you basically blip out and in of reality really quickly. But this one was the biggest one. Day 5 and 6, they were a little psychedelic, visual. I could see images. I could see the feet of Jesus walk in front of me. Kept feeling these high vibrations, these vibrations in my skin and in my muscles. And then it was easier to see through concepts such as insecurity, thoughts, pride, anxieties, and anticipation, expectation. And it was easier to see through them because the world became more 3D. Day 7, this amazing thing happened. I felt stretched. I felt like I was going to be shot out of a cannon, like a catapult. And I felt like the catapult was being stretched. And here, and here, and here, from 6 directions or something. And I was going to be shot into the universe somewhere or someplace. So I was wondering, when is this going to happen? When am I going to be shot out of a cannon by 6 cannons or 6 catapults? And I didn't. It didn't happen like that. Instead of being shot out, I was just stretched. And stretched so much that a crack opened up here and then here, which has happened before, so nothing special about that. Soothing energy coming out and blissful feelings. The next morning, I was sitting in a painful sit. And I was like, oh, this is so painful. But who is suffering the most here? What's suffering the most? And that is, of course, the I, the identification. Me, I, this storyline of my whole life, emotions, beliefs, all this stuff that is creating a sense of Fred, me, I. So now I was like, now I'm gonna see if I can actually find the sensation of the self. I could see it. I could see that it was this sensation that arose, this, quite simply from the heart. And from then on, I realized every time I go I in my mind, I can trace it back to the heart. And I could feel this, just this sensation of love, this flow of love. That's all the I really is, the self. And I told my teacher about that, and he said, yeah, the self is eventually, a practitioner will feel the self as a feeling in the heart region here. He told me to keep looking and feeling this, exploring the sensations around the heart region. So I kept doing that. Day 8, 9, and 10, they were heart-opening a process, kind of a slow process. Until the day 7, it was very vibratory and very, like pow stuff happening, explosions and fireworks in my mind here, boom, 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 and also in front of my heart, boom, leading to these openings here, the opening of the heart. And I was getting into the sensation and feeling the heart out and seeing what's in there. And that was actually triggering a little bit anger and agitation on the day 10. And on day 12, I think, that's when my real breakthrough came that I'm still surfing on right now. And that was an ability to sense the self more often, more and more often, more and more clearly. The ego, basically. The one who is seeming to control everything you're doing. You think in your mind that you are Sebastian and that you're going to school tomorrow and that you have an exam and that things are going to go really bad for you in life if you don't pass it. If you're mindful, you will not let this story completely take over you. But some points in life we're not that mindful and we forget our immediate experience to be present, the breath, the senses, and we go into story mode. Oh, I'm this guy and I've experienced these things and I want to accomplish this and I never want to experience that again. It becomes this collection of ideas and you feel attached to it, and it's you, it's Sebastian, it's Jacqueline, it's your face, your images, how you look. All these things are attached to your idea of yourself. I was asking myself, who is feeling sorry for himself? And I could feel it more and more in the heart. A feeling going into a really, really small knot. And sometimes it will be a larger thing, larger, more pink feeling, you know, that was more easy to see through, but wider. And this probably goes very, very deep. And maybe it's going to take a long time to totally feel this out. And actually, yeah, my teacher said when you feel this out, the self will drop into nirvana. Yeah, no less than that. This guy, he talked clearly about, he's a monk, he's been meditating many hours a day for 50 years. And he says, yeah, there's a point. Nirvana exists. And the more you practice, the more you will believe me.
I'm very glad that I went on that retreat. It has given me lots of silence and peace in my life. In fact, the day after, something happened that I haven't experienced before, where there was just this flash of silence. I was walking down the street in Milan and then suddenly, and then I went, what was that? Was that an earthquake? And then I went back and I looked around. Is this some kind of electrical zone here? Was it the subway going fast beneath the ground here? But it was not that, because it kept happening the whole day when I was walking around, and also when I was traveling home that day, being in 3 countries. It kept happening, these flashes of silence, like something was falling off. And it went on for the next 2 or 3 months until it kind of normalized. And I mean, I still have the identification mechanism. This is me, this is not me. But there's less of it. I became a lot more peaceful and mindful after the retreat, and also inspired a great new type of habit of meditating for 3 hours a day, which I've been doing for now 6 months. And I've reported a lot of these meditation vlogs on my FreddyFairhair channel. So if you want to go there and are curious, I'm going into detail of what happened the last 6 months over there. But I will also make a shorter sum up video of what's been happening very, very soon that I will release on this channel. So stay tuned for that, and hope you got something out of this video, and I will see you soon. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your day. It's been very nice to be here. Highly recommended. It's called Pian dei Ciliegi. It's in a very nice place too.